Hello and welcome. Life doesn't exactly come with a user manual, does it? Let's be real. Some of the best lessons we ever learn come from the absolute messiest moments. So today, we're going to dive into some real-life stories and pull apart what they teach us, building a kind of toolkit for turning life's challenges into real opportunities for growth.
Oh, you know the ones I'm talking about. The kind of day where you wake up and you feel it in your bones.
Yeah, that feeling. Like the universe is personally lining up a series of tests just to see what you're made of. It's a feeling we all know, and actually that's exactly where our first story kicks off. So picture this. You have this massive, potentially career-changing meeting with a client. You've been chasing this account for months. You're prepped, you're ready to go, and then the morning happens. It's just this perfect storm of bad luck. One thing right after another. First, the alarm. Silent. Total betrayal. So you fly out of bed, heart pounding. Then, on the road, it's like the traffic light gods are conspiring against you. Every single one turns red. And just when you think, okay, maybe I can still make it, you see those dreaded flashing lights in your rear view. A busted taillight you didn't even know about. By the time you finally sprint into that office, you're flustered, 15 minutes late, and probably look like you just wrestled a bear. But here's the twist. Instead of letting that chaotic energy spill into the meeting, you can take one single deep breath. You walk in, apologize sincerely for your tardiness, no long dramatic story, and then you pivot straight to business. And you know what? It works. The client respects the professionalism, you nail the pitch, you close the deal. It's such a powerful reminder that the chaotic morning wasn't the defining moment. Your reaction to it was. Okay, so let's shift gears from chaotic mornings to the workplace, because these same ideas are absolutely crucial when you're dealing with tricky professional challenges.
The Tom problem. We've all had a Tom, right? That team member who just isn't pulling their weight. You find yourself staying late to fix their mistakes, redoing their work, and this quiet resentment just starts to build up. You know you need to say something, but who actually likes confrontation?
So what's the move? Well, instead of letting it fester, you schedule a private chat. And here's the secret sauce: using I statements. This is a total game changer. Instead of saying, "You're always late with your work," which immediately puts someone on the defensive, you say something like, "I've been feeling pretty stressed lately because I'm concerned about hitting our deadline." See the difference? It's not an accusation, it's an expression of your experience. This opens the door for a real conversation, where you can actually listen and then hopefully find a solution together. Now, let's talk about a totally different kind of professional hurdle, the kind that's all in your own head. You get this incredible invitation to speak at a big conference. It's a huge opportunity, but your biggest fear is public speaking. We're talking shaky hands, pounding heart, the whole 9 yards. It's terrifying. But you do it, you say yes, and you prepare like your life depends on it, practicing in front of the mirror, roping in your friends to be an audience. And on the day, the first few minutes are rocky, your heart is beating out of your chest, but then you find your groove, and you realize the fear you built up in your head was way worse than the reality. That's the magic, right? Every single time you do something that scares you, you're not just getting it over with, you're literally rewiring your brain and proving you can handle more than you ever thought. And of course, these lessons aren't just for our work lives. Honestly, some of the most powerful growth happens when we're navigating challenges in our personal lives.
Let's imagine going through a really tough breakup, the kind that leaves you feeling completely adrift, like a piece of you is missing. So you do something that sounds absolutely insane at the time. You book a solo trip to Portugal. The first few days are just lonely. You're sitting in cafes, seeing happy couples, and thinking, what have I done? But then, slowly, something starts to shift. You start to actually enjoy being on your own schedule, discovering little corners of the city by yourself. And that's where the real lesson hits you, maybe over a coffee somewhere. You have this aha moment. You realize you don't need anyone else to make you whole. You already are. You're not looking for your other half, you're looking for someone who complements the amazing person you already are. That journey teaches you a level of independence and self-love that is just unshakable.
Okay, but personal growth isn't always deep and heavy. Sometimes it's about a dinner party disaster. You decide you're gonna make this super impressive, fancy pasta dish for a friend. You saw it online, it looked easy enough. How hard could it be, you think? Well, it turns out, very. The sauce is a mess, there's flour everywhere, including on your face, just as your friend rings the doorbell.
And instead of being met with judgment, your friend just laughs, rolls up their sleeves, and jumps in to help. You two end up salvaging the meal, laughing the whole time. And that messy, imperfect, hilarious moment, that becomes the memory. It's such a great reminder that it is absolutely okay to not be perfect. Sometimes those are the best moments of all.
So, if we take all these stories, the morning meltdown, the tricky coworker, the solo trip, the pasta disaster, and we boil them down, what do we get? We get a set of practical, repeatable strategies. We get a toolkit for resilience.
So what's in this kit? First, the ability to shift your perspective. Look for the lesson, not just the loss. Next, self-compassion. Please stop beating yourself up. Then, building that support system, the people who will help you fix the pasta. It's also about preparing for what you can, but having the flexibility to adapt when things go sideways. And, of course, learning from your failures and knowing when to set boundaries to protect your own well-being.
Now, this right here is the foundation of the whole toolkit. It all comes down to your mindset. If you have a fixed mindset, you see a challenge and your brain just says, nope, can't do it, threat alert. But with a growth mindset, you see that exact same challenge and your brain says, okay, I can't do this yet. That one little word changes everything. It reframes failure as a lesson, and it turns scary challenges into amazing opportunities to learn and get better.
And remember, you are not in this alone. Look at this. Your support system is this whole ecosystem of people. You've got family, friends, mentors who've been there before, even colleagues who can be your allies. The trick is to nurture these relationships, so when you need to lean on someone, they're there.
So when we zoom out and look at the big picture, what's the ultimate takeaway here? It's really all about embracing the journey, the good, the bad, and especially the messy parts.
Think of resilience like a muscle. It's not some magic trait you either have or you don't. No one is just born resilient. It's a skill. And every single time you face an obstacle and get through it, you're doing another rep. You're building that muscle, getting stronger and more capable for whatever comes next.
I really want this idea to stick with you. For so long, we're taught to be terrified of failure. But what if we just flip the script? What if failure isn't the opposite of success? What if it's actually an essential, non-negotiable part of the path to success? So think about that. Every challenge you face from here on out is a new chance to practice, a chance to grow, and a chance to become just a little more resilient. You've got the tools in your kit now. So the only real question is, what are you going to build with them?